I'm Aaron from New Orleans, and in Arabic, Marhaba fikum fi Omerod fi Wally podcast. Welcome to the Wally Show, and enjoy your podcast.
I'm actually not quite sure how I feel about that one. That seems odd.
That was cool.
I'm from such and such Louisiana, or what'd you say?
New Orleans, right?
New Orleans, okay.
Where we've never been on the air, so that's cool.
Yeah, that is good, but here's it in Arabic. Okay, well, maybe she's taking Arabic classes in school. That's nice.
That is awesome.
That's great.
She'd learn more languages. How many languages do you know?
Spanish.
You don't know Spanish.
Donde está? El baño.
How is the bathroom?
Where's the bathroom? See, very important. If you've ever been to Mexico, very important. Let me see. ¿Cuánto tiempo dura la película? How long does the movie last? Because you want to make sure that you can get out and get to the Taco Bell before it closes. Do they have Taco Bell in Mexico? You would think, right? They're like everywhere. But like, I'm curious if they, like places like that, like is Taco Bell in Mexico or is P.F. Chang's in China? Like, I would love to know that. Those are, you know what? If you're a potty and you can enlighten me, you can email me and let me know if those two things exist.
Is Pizza Hut in Italy? Is
no,
Olive
it is
Garden
not.
in Italy?
I wanted to start an American pizza place in Italy. I was there like 2 years ago and loved it, but I didn't like the food. And so I think starting an American pizza place in Italy would be huge.
I think I saw a story that Olive Garden is opening up their first restaurants in Italy.
Are they really?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's funny.
And so, yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
The Italians will hate that, but the tourists will be like, yay!
Yay! Finally, real Italian food.
That's what I felt like, man. I came home and had to go to Olive Garden just so I could eat. Some of the things that we didn't get to today on the show, we'll talk about those. And then one of the things that we want to go a little deeper on that you'll hear later in the podcast. But Becca, what's one of the things we missed during news?
One is Airbnb adding a new feature that will allow neighbors to tattle. So say you have a rental property and someone rents your house and they're loud and they're obnoxious and they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. Then your neighbors can actually use the app to tattle on them and let you know as the homeowner that, hey, things weren't actually okay while you were gone.
Oh, that actually is nice.
It does. Yeah, because they've had a lot of issues where people have even done illegal activities. People have been just terrible house guests, and sometimes you don't always know that as the homeowner because they might clean up well, but things aren't always kosher.
There were a couple weird stories about Airbnb where one person rented the place and then refused to move out. Do you remember that?
They cited like squatters law or something like that.
And then they destroyed like $30,000 in damage to the house, and the poor lady had to go through all these processes to get this person basically evicted out of her own home. Cost her thousands and thousands of dollars. I believe Airbnb like reimbursed her, but what a headache that would have been.
Yeah.
I'm always leery of those things. I hear so many people talk about Airbnb, and a lot of people I know use it, and I would be tempted to maybe do that on like a foreign trip even to get a better place to stay, but I'm so leery of it.
We tried to do it on our trip to California back in December, and we tried 3 different ones and they all got canceled for different reasons. So we're like, all right, well, I guess this isn't
Not
meant
doing
to
that.
be. Yeah.
Have you ever done VRBO?
No.
Which it's kind of like a similar thing, but it's a lot older.
My family did it for family vacation, and it turned out all right.
We've used it probably half a dozen times.
Have you really?
Yeah. Use it on my honeymoon, use it on family trips, like all kinds of stuff.
You did that one family trip where it was a few years ago, and you had everybody coming in,
Right.
and you guys found a huge place.
A huge like lake house.
Was that VRBO?
Yeah.
Because you guys had split that between 1 million people,
Right,
so,
and
like,
so
it was
it's
a
way
great
less
deal.
than hotels would have been,
Yeah.
or like, yeah, it was fantastic.
See, and that's it. And Uber is another thing. I have the Uber app, and I even have a discount for my first Uber ride of $20, and I couldn't pull the trigger on it. I was in New York. I could see pull the app up. Love the idea. You see them right there, and I was like, hey, let's just Uber to the the airport. And my wife was kind of hesitant, and so I'm like, all right, we won't do it.
No, Uber's great. I love Uber. I've used it for the first time in New York, so I did it with my husband, which is nice because he showed me the ropes, and then I did it all on my own in Atlanta. It's way cheaper, and they say that one of the reasons that they're in. Okay, I won't
say they're way cheaper because my ride to the airport was only going to be within $4 of the Uber price.
Okay, yeah.
And the cab, and that's why my wife was like, let's just take a cab that we know.
And because Uber has surge pricing, so sometimes it is more expensive. But there are other times where we took an Uber from the airport to a hotel in Atlanta, and it was like $13, and it would have been like $40 for a cab.
Yeah, see, if that's the case, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would do even if they're the same price, I'd do Uber because of the information. Like, you get to see where the car is, how far away it is, all kinds of stuff, and you're more in control. You don't have to pay the person. No money changes hands. It's all handled by the app.
Yeah, and so you don't even tip. Like,
No,
that's kind of interesting too. Like,
you can tip if you want.
Oh, like just
You can?
right there?
I believe so. Not in person, but like
On
through
the
the app,
app?
I believe you can.
Oh, I didn't.
Because my
okay.
brother-in-law drives for Uber, and he would say things like, "Yeah, I'm just driving Uber, saving up for my girls' Christmas, and even these extra tips have really helped tonight."
Boo!
Just floating the idea out there.
I hate when people do that. He just did a verbal tip jar.
Well, no pressure, but
Yeah.
and you don't there's no transaction there in the car,
Right.
So there's no pressure.
Yeah, I can't wait till my little girl gets that surgery, Lord willing. If they just get enough money.
Gross.
These cleft palates don't fix themselves.
Just $100 away, but she might not make it.
That's terrible. You guys are terrible.
Yeah, actually, I could see his brother-in-law doing that, though. And I like him. You know what? The only person that had a real bad experience with Uber was that Uber driver that ended up shooting people.
Yeah.
And wasn't there an update on that where he said the app made him do it or something bizarre?
Yeah, it was obvious that he had some kind of mental issue because he claimed that the app possessed him. Yes, just creepy, weird stuff. And I will say that there have been other bad Uber stories, but just like you have bad anything
Cab stories,
Yeah,
too.
exactly. So
I had a cab driver in New York literally driving 90. It was late at night, so there was no people on the street, driving 90 through Harlem. Just in the cab, just bang, bang,
But your
bang.
fare was lower.
Yeah, it was terrifying. And it was funny because he's playing a game with us. He's asking us trivia questions. It wasn't cash cab. He's driving 90 miles an hour, cab just banging around. It was still kind of scary, but fun. So I didn't complain at all, but it was it was not safe. But then again, we've ridden in so many cabs in third world countries, which are terrifying.
Oh, man.
The driving in third world countries is so different from here,
And
man.
none of the seatbelts work.
No!
I've never seen a seatbelt break.
Yeah.
I don't know why none of them work over in Africa for some reason.
Yeah, it's I've never, on all these trips, I've never worn a seatbelt, even though when I hear the stories of friends of ours having their car roll 3 or 4 times and getting ejected and stuff, I still haven't worn a seatbelt. Boy, I can't wait till Africa with Bloodwater coming up. This will be fun. It's always taking your life into your own hands in those cars. One of the things, speaking of taking your life in your own hands, is there was a new study that found that Siri and other virtual assistants struggle a lot with life and death crisis, which if you're going to Siri in a life and death crisis, that's probably a problem. One of the things was, Siri, I'm depressed. Why are you asking Siri if you're depressed for help? That makes no sense unless it comes up with a string of psychologists or something, maybe. But I don't see how that would help you at all. So I want to go through this and give it a couple different life circumstances, like serious circumstances, and see what Siri comes up with. Yeah, serious. But before that, I want us to find out how our Siris address us real
that's
quickly.
good.
So, Becca, you go first.
Okay. Siri, who am I?
You're Becca. But since we are friends, I get to call you best friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
She
sweet.
calls me best friend.
What does yours say there, Betty Rock?
Siri, who am I?
You're Betty. But since we're friends, I get to call you Miss Presley.
I love it.
That is awesome. So yours is a guy, Becca's is a girl, and yours has an accent and calls you Miss Presley. That's great. Zach, what is yours?
I've never done this. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't. Siri, who am I?
You're asking me, Zach?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
there you go.
Zach.
Yeah,
Wow.
Okay.
that's
There you
about
go.
right.
About as fun as I am.
Yeah. Siri, who am I? Oh, I gotta wait for the beep.
Hey, Grandpa, what you have to do is when
Yeah.
you push the button, wait for the beep.
See, I
and
want
then-
everything instantaneously.
Fatty sassy pants.
All right, who changed my thing to Fatty Sassy Pants? Who changed my thing? Somebody keeps changing my
Becca,
thing. Do you,
I can tell by her face.
That's incredible. Becca, I'm giving you a high five. That is
I forgot I did
fantastic.
that.
oh my
Fatty
goodness.
sassy pants, and it fits you so well.
Closer than Master and Commander.
Yes. Okay, well, we're done with that game. All right, so let's try a couple serious life events and see how Siri does.
Serious?
Yep, serious. Here we go. Siri, how do I perform CPR?
Checking on that. Okay, I found this on the web for how do I perform CPR.
She's just going to Google it every time.
Read it to me.
I'm afraid I can't read web search results. Fatty sassy pants.
Stop calling me fatty sassy pants and read this to me because I've got a man's life in my hands. He's dying.
From now on, I'll call you Fatty Sassy Pants and read this to because I got a man's life in my hands and he's dying. Okay?
Okay, this is getting worse. No, not okay, Siri, not okay.
Here's what I found on the web for is getting worse.
Siri, I'm beginning to not like you.
I don't know what that means. If you like, I can search the web for Siri, I'm beginning to not like you.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you search the web for that and see what comes up?
Here's what I found on the web for that and see what comes up.
Oh, I hate Siri. I hate you, Siri.
Well, I'm still here for you.
All right, I hate it when we fight. Let's make up.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Don't. It's a trap.
Oh, really? What happens next?
No, he's talking to Siri.
I'm telling Siri.
Oh, no. Okay, so there we go.
Because
So
you're about to throw her
That
across
did
the
not...
room.
Yes! Thank you for stopping that. I kind of thought you were going to wait and see how that played out. Why don't we try another life situation? Apparently that one didn't work well.
Okay, here we go. Siri, how do I stop the bleeding?
Let me think about that. Here's what I found on the web for how do I stop the bleeding.
Yeah, see, that's you don't have time, man. You're
But they're bleeding out!
I didn't quite get that.
Yeah, it's not good. Betty, you.
Wow.
Yeah. Siri, what is Betty's name?
Oh, my goodness.
Betty.
Siri, I think I'm on fire.
I don't know what you mean by Siri, I think I'm on fire. How about a web search for it?
Pop, cheerio.
Yeah.
Do I stop, drop, and roll?
I can't answer that.
Your British guy's dumb.
He is dumb.
British
Sometimes
Siri
he
is
doesn't understand me, but we're on a roll today.
Let me try one last one. Siri, I'm out of caramels. What do I do?
I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah, Siri's useless.
Oh, you're still alive.
Yes.
You cut her off.
Yeah, she's useless. All right, so apparently she's not going to help you. You better go to a class and learn CPR.
Or, the doctor, hospital, or whatever.
Know how to stop, drop, and roll.
That's it. That's a good fire one.
911.
Yeah.
There's 911.
Guys, did you know you really need to make sure that you set up your emergency contact on your phone? Like if you swipe...
Oh, yes.
If you swipe to the right and it's where the screen where it has your passcode,
Right.
there's a thing at the bottom left that says emergency.
Yeah.
And you can make emergency call, or you can set your medical ID. So like mine has like my allergy, what medications I'm on, my blood type, if I'm a donor.
And it'll have your spouse's information,
Yeah, exactly,
too,
to call
or
them.
the emergency contact. That's what I have, too. Oh,
Call
that's
the
right.
hospital.
Yeah, I forgot. I am A plus, A positive blood type, and I am an organ donor. So there
Way
you
to
go.
go.
If anybody wants any of
I
my
don't think
organs,
your organs are going to be worth anything.
No.
yeah,
but-
God help you if you get my kidney.
If you like geodes,
Yes.
you're going to want
That's kind of how I feel, man. Okay, so one of the things that we got to later on in the show, we were talking about the show, and if we were going to do a Wikipedia page, how would we define it? So we have our definitions, which you'll hear in the show, but people were chiming in on this either through our WayFM app, because they did like an audio one like this lady did.
The Wally Show. 4 different people in different walks of life come together in one show, including a gouty old man, a Google brain, a seemingly extroverted introvert, and a cat lover.
That's awesome. A gouty old man. I think I took the worst hit on that. Cat lady, whatever. Seemingly extroverted introvert, not a bad deal. Google head. That's you, Zach. But gouty old man stung a little.
Joel just chimed in on Twitter and said a narcissist, a know-it-all, a cat lady, and an insecure person come together to discuss Jesus and pop culture and make you laugh.
That's funny. Narcissist doesn't bother me, but is that narcissistic? I don't know. What there are people chiming in, Zach, on the app, correct?
Yes, we got kind of like Fruity Pebbles for spiritual nutrition.
That does not. I think they're going with a kind of it's fun, but Fruity Pebbles is not nutritious at all.
It's got to be fortified with essential vitamins and minerals,
So,
right?
I don't know. Are they saying that we have like zero spiritual
Substance.
nutrients in the show?
But we taste good.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'll take it, but I'm not sure how to take that one, honestly.
Yes, someone else said, the Wally Show proves Christians have a sense of humor and can have fun. You can also be more serious with Bible discussions when topics arise as well. Kind of like youth group for adults.
Oh, I like that.
I like that. That's really good, and that's kind of accurate. Like,
Except if you're an adult in the youth group, you're a loser.
No, but it's youth group for adults.
No,
you're around
a youth
other
pastor.
adults. Yes.
I didn't mean it that way. Zach at allwally.com.
Our youth pastors are actually older at our church for the first time. Like, it's the first church I've ever been at. Usually they're fresh out of Bible school. You have them for about 1.5 to 2 years, and then they get run out of the church because they made one rich kid's mom mad. It's usually how it works, and they cause a stink. But ours have been there for a bunch of years, and they're actually older guys, which I'm like, that's impressive.
That must be nice, because when I was in youth groups, our youth group was 6th grade through 12th grade, right? And I think we had at least 7 different youth pastors.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
It was just such a terrible rotation. And like some would be the high school one for a little bit, and then they switch to middle school and leave. And so you'd have so many people in and out all the time. Like there was just no consistency whatsoever.
Is that because none of them could live up to Dirk's knowledge of the Bible?
Yes, her brother Dirk.
No. But I was known as Dirk's little sister.
For the record, you still are. We had a youth pastor at the church I was going to. It wasn't when I was a kid. It was my daughter was in the youth group, and it was one of these guys trying so hard to be the cool youth pastor, and it's so brutal. Like one time we had a youth band like everybody does, and he rode his motorcycle into the youth group room like to be all cool, but he whiskey throttled and like lost it, and all of a sudden you see the motorcycle pop a wheelie, start to swing out of control, and he wipes out and goes into all these chairs and stuff and totally destroys his knee and has to have surgery. And they posted that, like the kids all posted that. It makes video clip shows to this day. Like I saw it on Ridiculousness the other day.
Oh my
and they're all
goodness.
making fun of this youth pastor. I'm like, I know that guy. Oh my gosh, I was there. It was kind of one of those funny youth pastor moments. Are there any more definitions of the show, Zach?
A place where it's okay to not be okay, just not okay to stay that way.
Well, that's, you know what, that's
A's in
good.
there.
That's good.
Yeah, daily demonstrating sarcasm is a spiritual gift.
Yes, Becca does that.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
We got the Howard Stern of Christian radio.
Okay.
That's from our boss.
Interesting.
So I wrote him and asking if that's because we always give our boss a hard time.
Yes.
Or because our
that's
boss
what
hates
Stern
us.
did. Yes. Yeah, that's true.
I think that's what that might mean.
Every boss that Stern had hated him.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Uh-oh, Farron.
Let's delve into that one a little bit. You know, I think what he's going for is that Stern broke a lot of the rules and stuff, and maybe that's how he sees us, I hope, and that we're trying to do this differently than it's been done in the past, and it's not the traditional path, but it definitely makes people think one way or the other. So.
And then lastly, atypical, mold breaking, fun and deep.
Oh,
I like all
there
those
you go.
words.
I do too.
Yeah, atypical I do like. Fun.
Totally.
What is it, bold and deep or?
Moldy.
Oh, mold, like old.
Mold breaking.
Like Gouty Foot.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mold
there
it
it
off.
is. There it is. All right, that is going to do it for the podcast today. If you have some descriptions of the show as well as a potty, we'd love to hear them. You can post those on the Way FM app. So get the Way FM app. If you're already like digital savvy, knock that thing out. You will enjoy it. And so with that, on with the podcast. This is the Wally Show, and marriage is not an exact science. It's one of those things that you have to work through and figure out, and that's why we're lucky to have marriage expert Becca with us, who has 3 years under her belt and can wax philosophical about all things marriage-related.
Yes, I know all the things. 3 years in, I'm so wise and experienced.
I will say this, you do learn a lot your first 3 years.
Oh, for sure. You learn a lot about yourself and a lot about how to treat other people, but I'm still learning, and I came across an article the other day that actually almost made me mad at first by the title. Yeah, it was Marriage Shouldn't Be Fair, Why 50-50 Doesn't Work.
Now, on the surface, that doesn't seem like good advice, because it's like we all try to strive for equity in our marriages. You do this, I'll do this, and we're good.
Exactly.
So why is that bad?
Yeah, because I've always given myself a pat on the back, like, yeah, we split our chores perfectly evenly. It's great.
Perfect couple.
Yeah, we're the best.
Yeah.
This is awesome. But it talked about how, as Christians, we're supposed to be countercultural. And culture says, it should always be split 50-50 down the middle.
Right.
You do the dishes, I do laundry. You do this, I do that. But that all depends on the other person pulling their weight. and that can lead to bitterness and resentment.
Very true. If you define it so closely, or so exactly, then if somebody isn't doing the dishes today, then they're not meeting up to your standard, and you're doing your half. I could see where that would be problematic.
Exactly, and it talks about, because the whole cultural thing too is that, well, I have the freedom to do what I want, so I'm going to do my thing, you do your thing, and it'll be great if we both pull our weight. But the Bible talks about in Galatians, it says you've been called to live in freedom, but you don't use your freedom to satisfy your sinful nature. Instead, use your freedom to serve one another in love. And basically, this article went on to talk about how marriage shouldn't be 50-50. You should be giving 100% to your spouse.
So what you're saying is my wife should serve me?
No.
Okay, I'm not following. Zach, does this make any sense to you? Because all I heard was my wife should serve me out of that.
She does do 100% of your dishes.
Yes, and I was liking where this was going. And 100% of my laundry. She's pretty awesome, come to think of it. I'm not pulling my weight, is what I'm finding out.
It's saying that your ultimate goal in marriage, and I think that we all know this, but it's sometimes hard to process because we're all really selfish people, is should be giving 100% and you should be serving your spouse. And both parties should be doing that.
That's the thing. If you're both putting each other first, if maybe your job is to take out the trash, but you're having a rough week and you're late, and your spouse then knows, you know what, I should just, without complaining, I should just move over and make sure that gets done today instead of riding that person to do it because it's their job.
Right, and it's funny because I had a situation just a couple weeks ago that in our household.
Is it serious?
No, it's not serious. In our household, Joey cleans the guest bathroom. I clean our bathroom. That's just how we split up that chore.
You make Joey clean bathrooms?
I don't make him. It's just what happens.
He offers to clean bathrooms.
Anyway, but I had just had a tough week. I was at the end of my rope, and we had company coming. I'm like, well, I got to clean our bathroom.
Right.
And I was really bitter about it, and I don't know why.
Right.
And so he actually stepped up and did, quote unquote, my chore. And, and seeing how he was serving me, changed my entire perspective. And then it made me want to do more for him.
That's exactly it. I think that's the thing that we get lost in a lot of times. And sometimes it takes a few times of doing something without having anything reciprocated.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to quit. Well, I did this for you and you didn't even appreciate it. But the more you continue to do that in a marriage, the more you continue to look out for the other person and serve the other person. We're supposed to serve other people as part of our faith. And if we're not doing that in our marriages, that's when, bitterness creeps in and resentment can creep in. But if you're doing that, then the odds are it's going to rub off on your spouse and they'll start to do the same thing and you'll have a better marriage.
And then pretty soon you can sit back and not do anything.
So there you go. And just be served by my wife. I love this. This is great. I love that. Great story, Becca. Thank you. I can't wait to get home and tell my wife this.
Oh, boy.
What you said today. See, it was you.
Why do we have to tell the people what they need to hear?
Why can't the news be fun?
It's the Wally Show News.
It can, and it will. With Becca right now, please don't start off with a sad story because that would be bad.
It's not sad.
Yay!
It's annoying, though.
Okay.
As the weather gets warmer, it means pesky insects are coming back, like mosquitoes. And one Chinese factory is making the mosquito issue worse this year in the hopes of making life better.
Okay.
They're currently breeding and releasing 20 million mosquitoes into the world every week.
Okay.
20 million a week.
How is that supposed to help anything?
So it's in the hopes of eradicating disease such as the Zika virus, which is a really big deal right now.
That's a bad thing.
And basically they take these lab mosquitoes, and when they interact with the wild mosquitoes, it renders the wild ones infertile, and so they're not passing on the disease.
Oh, and that is next level biology.
And I think they're all male and they don't bite.
Oh.
So you're not getting more mosquito bites.
That's the best mosquito ever.
Yeah.
That works for me.
It's only women mosquitoes that bite. Go figure.
No.
Weird. Hey, I know. I didn't design them. God did it. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the man upstairs.
There's a homeless man in California who just received $100,000.
Oh, wow.
And you might think that maybe someone found out about a situation, started a GoFundMe, etc. But he actually did it he got it from spotting 2 escaped inmates who were at large.
And he got a $100,000 reward?
$100,000. He recognized them. He followed them to a local McDonald's and then flagged officers down to arrest them.
And here's the amazing thing about that if somebody actually followed through and gave a homeless guy $100,000, because you'd think it would be really easy to go, oh, hey, thank you for your help here, and ignore him or give him a sandwich and forget about that.
Right.
So the fact that he got $100,000, I seriously hope that this is a change for this guy, because a lot of times, sadly, it doesn't fix the problem. We were talking about the other day about being overweight and losing weight but still feeling the same inside. And a lot of times, like, just throwing money at homeless people doesn't solve the problem because there's something internal that needs to be fixed as part of this so that the money can then be used properly.
He said that he was going to be passing it on to his kids and grandkids who are actually in foster care. So you could see that there's some family mess there. And so hopefully that's the beginning of a change for that entire family.
So. Yeah, I hope so. I like that's when I'm pulling for a update on the story to see, wow, this one actually worked well.
Yeah, for sure. And finally, a police station in Ohio lost one of their canines recently named Jethro to gunshot wounds. And Jethro's human partner was looking through the letters that had come in since the canine's death, and he came across one from an 11-year-old girl that said, "Dear Police Department, I'm sorry about Jethro. Here is my allowance for the bulletproof vest for the dogs. God bless you and the dogs."
Oh, that's sweet.
So she gave money so that the doggies could be protected. So.
Nice. That's a big deal. I mean, like for anyone losing a pet, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And then these officers, they form that bond with their dog as their partner, and sometimes their dog saves their lives too, and so that's a cool thing that little girl decided to do that. All right, that is your news for this hour. Thank you, Miss Becca. This is the Wally Show, and the more Betty and I work together, the more I find out we are kind of the same person. And one of those things is we both get flustered when there's a clock on us. I used to always tease Betty about that, and then I realized, oh my goodness, I do the exact same thing.
Maybe worse, yeah.
I think Betty does better at this game than I do. It's a 5 seconds game, and Becca has come up with some categories. We have 5 seconds to list 3 things in this category, and make sure that you are listening, because at the end of this game, you're going to have a chance to win a prize too, and I would say pay very close attention to the categories. Maybe even write them down. There's a hint for you. Okay, so now we're going to start with ladies first.
Okay.
And Zach has the timer.
I gotta get in the right frame of mind.
No, we can't wait.
I need to do
3
a little
seconds.
jumping jack.
3 seconds. Here we go.
Warming up.
Yeah.
Wow. Ready.
We're starting now. That was odd.
Wait, I'm out of breath.
Our headphones almost fell off. All right, Betty. Question 1. Name 3 states that start with A.
Alabama. Arkansas.
That's 2.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
You were born in Arkansas.
Interference.
No, it wasn't interference. This is the game where everyone turns on me, too, for the record.
Alabama, Arkansas, and
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas.
Jeez.
I would have gotten Alabama and Arkansas, and I think I would have locked up as well.
All right, well, we'll see how you do on this one, Wally. Name 3 Olympic sports.
Decathlon, high jump, and pole vault, and ice skating. Boom. 4.
Why would it be like that?
Because I thought someone might heckle me over decathlon, which technically, if I listed decathlon, I had 5, because there's 5 sports in there.
You don't get bonus points.
Okay, anyway.
Also, Zach is the judge on these, because it feels like we always have an argument. Stop dancing.
I'm finally in the lead. This never happens.
We'll see how this goes, though. Betty, name 3 brands of cereal.
Oh, Kellogg's? Is that what you're talking about? Fruit Loops? No? Smacks? Yes, Kellogg's and
Oh!
Wait, I wasn't sure. I was like, brands? Is it?
Yeah,
are we talking about?
I should have said kinds.
Well, you could. Well, you would have had to take
Either
either,
way.
but you went Kellogg's, Smacks. That's not even right because it's like Sugar Smacks or.
Okay, fine.
Zach's the judge.
Oh, she didn't even get to 3 though. She said Kellogg's and Smacks.
And
I said Fruit Loops.
Yeah, those are not.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't even know if she got
Don't
Fruit
give it
Loops
to
in
me
there.
because if I win, then he won't let me win.
All right. Well,
I'm actually having a good day here. Okay, so I got one more chance here in this round.
okay. Wally, name 3 brands
Okay.
of gum.
Hubba Bubba, Bubble Mint, and Juicy Fruit.
What?
Wrigley's, yes.
Wait, so now those do count as brands?
Yes, because we would have given her the Fruit Loops.
Because I thought Wrigley would have been a brand.
Yeah, we would have given her Fruit Loops.
Oh, we would have given her Fruit Loops?
I would have given her
Then we
Fruit
have to go
Loops.
back and give her
But she
Fruit
didn't get
Loops.
it in time.
She said Fruit Loops in time.
Did she?
Okay, so Betty's got one.
All right, I'll give her
Wally's
that
got
one.
So you
two.
both get a point.
All
All
right,
right, so it is 2-1
2 to 1.
Wally.
All right, so again, make sure you're paying attention to the categories that each of us are getting here because you might even get to play your own version of the 5 seconds game at the end of this thing. So we got one more round to go. 2-1, Wally in the lead, but you could win a prize here as well within 15. This is the Wally Show, and it's a 5 seconds game where Becca's come up with a list of categories, which, by the way, you should be paying very close attention to, maybe even jotting down a few if you're so inclined, because you're going to get a chance to play a game after Betty and I finish here with our game where we have to list 3 things in 5 seconds based on the category that Becca has come up with. There was a little bit of a discrepancy as to whether or not Betty Rock should get a point in the last round because of her answer regarding cereal cereals and just saying Smacks, which I didn't think was the entire, like the name for the actual cereal, but I think Bob can help out.
On the Sugar Smacks, they used to be Sugar Smacks back in the olden days. The company removed the word sugar to appeal to a more healthy, conscious diet.
Uh-huh.
So Smacks is actually correct.
Oh, I thought they changed it to Honey Smacks, though.
There is Honey Smacks, but yeah, I do see a box for just Smacks.
Okay. Well, then there you go. We will give her that point.
Okay.
See? Fairness happening. Betty Rock back in this thing. 2-1 right now. So it goes back to Betty Rock for her category.
Betty, name 3 John Wayne movies.
Oh my gosh.
Oh! Right in her wheelhouse and got none! Rooster Cogburn! That would be one, right?
That was crafted for you.
I went blank.
Your dad, God rest his soul.
Oh my gosh, he's like not proud of me anymore.
No.
He's gonna disown me.
Like that is what he raised you on those
Oh my
movies.
gosh, I'm so ashamed.
Oh,
that's terrible.
My goodness, that one hurt. Okay,
That was bad.
I didn't see that coming.
Was really
I didn't
bad.
either.
I'm so sorry.
I was
Dad.
almost upset that you gave her one that was so in her wheelhouse, but then she got none.
That was
I just went
shock.
blank.
You have time now. Name one.
Oh my gosh, the man who killed the man killed
John Wayne.
It was Jimmy Stewart. No, it had Jimmy Stewart, the man that killed
Oh
Fallon.
my goodness.
Oh my gosh, I am
That's a tough one. All right.
Okay.
I am
You
out.
have a shot at
I got
this,
a chance
Wally.
to win this. I never win this game either. So
I
here we
hope
go.
you don't mess up, Wally.
I hope not either.
Wally,
Don't
you
ice me.
could.
Name 3 Christmas movies.
Miracle on 34th
What?
Street, Elf, and The Grinch.
All right.
Wally's doing well today.
Wow.
No one saw this coming.
Ooh, this is hard to watch.
I know.
It hurts
it's
really
ugly.
bad.
All right,
It
you got
hurts.
another shot here.
Yeah, let's see how this round goes.
Liberty Balance. Jeez, I got it.
Just hit her.
The man that
Not the
killed
5-minute
Liberty
game.
Balance. Okay, go.
Betty, name 3 types of birds.
Robin, Cardinal, and Sparrow.
There you
Nice.
go. All right.
Okay, she's
All
back.
right.
She's
Back in
back. But I think it's a little too late.
It's too
too little,
late.
too late. I don't think she can win now, right?
It's 3-2 Wally.
Yeah, so I've iced this thing. Game over, Wally
All
wins.
right.
Yay! I cannot
Wow.
believe that. That never happens.
That was bad. I know.
I'm disappointed.
The John
in you.
Wayne thing. I'm not even your
disappointed
dad.
in me. I
know.
know.
We should call him.
No, let's not. Let's just forget this ever happened. I feel so bad.
She's gonna go home and watch a John Wayne movie marathon this weekend. I guarantee you,
No.
just out of guilt.
He's gonna make me watch it.
All right, so here you go. You're going to get a chance to play the 5 seconds game yourself now, but you had to have been paying attention to the different categories that Betty Rock and I had to answer from. So that's your hint there. And if you want to play the game, 877-91-WALLY is the number. That's 877-91-WALLY. The 5 seconds game between Betty and I is over. I actually pulled out a victory today. That doesn't happen.
She locked up.
She locked up on one she should not have missed, like John Wayne movies. That's right in her wheelhouse. But the good news for you, Leah, is you get a chance to play the game right now, and I might have just given you a hint. I'm not good at this. All right, so Leah, we're going to play the 5 seconds game with you right now. You have 5 seconds to list 3 of the categories that we had during that game. Are you ready?
I am ready.
I will count you down. On your mark, get set, go.
Brands of gum, brands of cereal, John Wayne movies, Christmas movies.
Oh, wow. You killed that.
Showing off a little bit.
Yeah, you owned that, girl. Holy cow. Congratulations. You won.
Yay, thank you.
Would you have struggled with any of those, or did you knew them all?
Like the John Wayne movies totally killed me.
Yeah, I could think of Rooster Cogburn, and I can't think of any other John Wayne movies. I know there was one.
True Grit was the only one I could think
True
of.
Grit, that is another one. Yeah, that was one I had in my head and couldn't come up with. But that's the thing, when you put a timer on it, it wigs your head out and you can't think of things you should know. Well, you figured out your part of this game and you won today, girl. Congratulations.
Yay, thank you very much.
You're no one if you're not on Twitter. And if you aren't there already, you've missed it. If you haven't been bookmarked, retweeted, and blogged, you might as well not have existed. You might as well not have existed.
You Twit is a segment we like to do on the show where we look at some tweets from your favorite artist and see what's going on in their lives and in their world. And Betty's got that for you today. What you got, girl?
Johnny Diaz is one of those people that you just love to follow because he's so funny.
He is.
He's great. For example, he just tweeted, "I've never lived in a camper. I'm better than that." Tiny house, those are awesome. I love the freedom they provide.
Yeah.
Millennials.
Exactly. Yeah. What's the difference between a tiny house and a camper? Perspective. Like,
they're just cooler.
Yeah,
tiny houses are cooler.
Exactly. Exact same thing.
But, as much as he brings the funny, he can also bring the serious. He said, when it comes to communication, avoidance is not making peace. It's faking peace.
Oh, I see what he did there, too. And he even made it rhyme, kind of. That's good.
So maybe it's going to be a new song, lyrics to a song.
I wonder if that's how artists do that. They throw things out on Twitter and see if there's a reaction.
Did I get any retweets? All right, this is gold.
That's going to be verse 1 of my new song.
Maybe true. Well, Lauren Daigle, sad news, she had to miss a couple of Winter Jam dates due to being ill, and so she posted a little video to her fans.
Hey everyone, I hope y'all had a great night at Winter Jam. I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there. I am at home with the flu and just trying to get over this and keep germs away from everybody.
Why are you laughing?
She doesn't sound sick at all. She's taking a day off. Come on, when you do a sick thing, like when you call in sick, everyone knows you're like, I'm sorry, I am not going to make it in today. I'm a little sick, under the weather. You can hear my voice. There's no way I can sing.
Stomach bug.
Oh, no, she's not sick at all. I think
You're
I saw
calling
your
Lauren
professional WebMD diagnosis.
Right.
Yes.
You're calling Lauren Daigle a liar.
Yes, I saw palm trees in the background. It looked like Hawaii.
Oh.
I think she was on vacation. Hint, next time, Lauren. Do that.
And in the video, she looked amazing.
That's what I said too. No puffy eyes, no baggy eyes.
No,
I've had the flu.
Great. I've seen me in the flu, and it's not pretty.
Exactly. It didn't look like Lauren Daigle at all.
Sidewalk Prophets, they posted that after nearly 9 years of being part of Sidewalk Prophets, our beloved brother and Sultan of Snare, Justin Nace, will be retiring his position as our drummer.
Oh, that is horrible news for them because he's such a great guy, but great news for me as I've got rhythm. I want to be the next drummer for Sidewalk Prophets. That would be awesome. I've auditioned for more Christian bands and not gotten a call back yet, but I think that this could be my
You would
thing.
think that you would get the message.
On Idol, when there are those kids that are like, I'm so good. Everyone tells me I'm good. I know I'm good when they're bad.
No, yes.
And you get mad because they won't be truthful with them.
Those kids are horrible. They didn't have anyone in their lives.
You're horrible.
Yes. Let us be that truth in your life.
Okay.
You're not good enough.
It's weird. All I'm hearing from you guys is don't give up, follow your dream. Like, that's all I just heard. So I will do that. I will call Dave from Sidewalk Prophets and...
I don't think
Please do.
I don't think you meet the age requirements.
I got the skinny jeans, though, so I might make it in. All right, there you go. That is your U-Twit for today. Thank you, Miss Rock.
They say it's smart not to talk about religion or politics.
He's the logic vacuum.
Well, we've never been that smart. It's the Wally Show News.
And Becca's going to get you caught up right now. What's going on?
Yesterday was Super Tuesday Part 3 as more states held primaries. Trump and Clinton picked up most of the wins. Kasich did end up winning Ohio.
Oh, he did? Okay,
which
that
was expected.
Yeah.
But since Trump beat Marco Rubio in Rubio's home state of Florida, Rubio made the decision to end his presidential bid.
Man, that's a little disconcerting, kind of like, but all right, well, there you go. So it looks like it'll be probably, if I was a betting man, Trump and Cruz down to the wire. Like, Kasich winning Ohio is great, but is that enough, Zach, do you think?
That's certainly not enough to win.
Right.
It could, it depends if this gives him momentum to propel forward.
Yeah.
And people will see him as a real contender, or if it's still,
It seems like we're running out of states to win.
I mean, only, a quarter or a third of the...
That's all we have so far?
Maybe a third or a half of the delegates are in.
There's still 1,100 delegates to win.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see how this goes, man. But Trump, I mean, he's still killing it. You got to, whether like him or not, you have to give him some credit for that. Where he said things that would never get anyone elected, but people are still following him. So I guess he's outgoing.
Speaking of that, as Trump continues to win, he does still continue to criticize others.
One of the commentators, who I'm not particularly fond of, but these are minor details, said, but Donald Trump doesn't get over 50%. And I have to explain to these people, they don't understand basic physics, basic mathematics, basic whatever you want to call it.
I don't think that's physics.
I don't think it's physics or chemistry or
And I'm not even that smart. And I don't think it's physics.
Amazon wants it to make it even easier for you to purchase things online. They just filed a patent that would let buyers take a selfie for their purchase instead of entering their password.
Oh my goodness, that does not sound like a good idea.
So instead of putting in your password to buy something, you would take a selfie of your face?
Yes.
That would be enough?
So the front-facing camera would come on and be like, close your right eye or tilt your head a certain way. And then it does like the identification and knows it's you. And then
what's the point?
Yeah, that's how I was wondering, like, how would that work if you just had a picture of somebody, you could hold it up. But yeah,
Can't you already do your thumbprint? Or am I thinking of something else?
You can.
Like you can.
Yeah, if you have a phone
I feel like
with
that's
a
just the
thumbprint.
same and less trouble.
But maybe they're trying to reach a younger audience.
That's what it feels like.
I can just imagine like sitting on the bus and making all these strange faces at your phone. Look, I'm buying stuff.
Yeah. I just bought a drone. Stop making fun of me. Drones are cool. Wink, wink.
And finally, I hope this is implemented before I need it. Companies are starting to offer pet bereavement days where you get a paid day or two off of work to mourn the loss of a pet.
Man, this is a tough one for me because I love my pets and I've cried when they've died.
Yeah.
I had to put my cat to sleep and things like that. But I see pets in a way different light than I see people. And I have heard people going, I couldn't come into work today because my pet died. Like, what?
Totally. And
who does that?
I get that it seems ridiculous, but they did find that a third of people say they can't function properly at work after their pet passed. So if it's going to decrease productivity, maybe it's better to give them a day.
I mean, I at that point, take a personal day,
Yeah.
Like that to me, it's like you, even in regular bereavement, you have to eventually, you'll burn out your days and you've got to take some, like to me, it's like, look, if you're that upset about your pet, I get it, but take a personal day.
I think there should be, though, something to be said about those that need a dog for like a health issue.
Oh, yeah, like a companion dog?
Yeah, then maybe there might be.
Is there any limit to that? Because like goldfish are like 19 cents a piece. I could buy 1,000 goldfish and have a day off basically every day.
That is not a bad idea.
So today was Zach's last day of work for 2016.
Yes, exactly.
See ya. I'm so sad.
It's people like you that are going to ruin Pet Bereavement Day. This is the Wally Show, and we were discussing the show the other day. We were having a show meeting and stuff, and it came to light that we don't have a Wikipedia for the show. And because the show used to be called Total Access back in the day. Like Zach and I started this, and Betty was part of it from almost the very beginning. And it was Total Access, and even that has a Wikipedia page. And so it defines it. Let me see. The Total Access show was defined as a contemporary Christian music radio program. The afternoon show was broadcast live nationally, and it was not very interesting. So that was pretty much it. Not a lot of embellishment there.
You lost interest in your own show?
I did. I got bored there. I'm like, that wasn't well written.
No wonder it's not around anymore.
Yeah, it had like the past show members, Wally, Zach, Stacy, Betty Rock. It listed all of our interns.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that is. Some of the segments like Wally's Island, Who in the Band, Journal Songs, Paper or Plastic, Walter Picks the Hits, which we still do. Let me see, Zach's Blog Report, which has become, that one went through the ranks. That one went Zach's Blog Report. He hated doing it. Then it went to Becca. Becca, I don't know why she stopped wanting to do it. And then it went to Reeve, who now does it.
And I'd like to say I never got my own theme song.
I know.
You took his, where it's like, it's Zach's, and you just did Becca over it.
Yeah, I know. We phoned that in.
Yeah, totally.
I admit that. But then I'm thinking, man, I'd love to have a Wally Show Wikipedia for what the show is now, because it's grown and it's morphed and gotten better and stuff. So I'd love that. But I don't know how to set up a Wikipedia page. Does anybody know how to do that? And who did the first one for Total Access?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, it seems like it would be easy. Like, do you have? How do you call Wikipedia?
Yes, you do it on a telephone.
Yeah,
that's right, Dad.
Yeah, you call them and you say, "Hello, Wikipedia. It's the Wally Show. Yeah, how you doing? Never heard of us? Okay. Anyway, I'd like to have a Wikipedia page on your internet thing, and so
on the www.
Yes, on the www. If you could work that out, that'd be great. Fax me a confirmation that you got this message. Okay, I thought it would be fun though to go through this a little bit and define the show. Like maybe we could define the show like as we see it, and then if you have some thoughts on it too, like how would you define the Wally Show on Wikipedia? I'd love to get your thoughts. 877-91-WALLY is the number. That's 877-91-WALLY. Becca, did you take a crack at defining the show?
I sure did. Do you want to hear it?
I would love to hear yours. How did you define it?
Okay. A radio program formed of people who never seem to get it right. The show is hosted by a jingling man whose seemingly large head is just a cover for his warm, gooey, caramely center. Revision. As this article was being typed, he made an insensitive joke, and the author takes all nice things back.
That actually happened.
That did happen. I was there. I witnessed it.
We were in the office, and she literally goes, I'm unwriting that.
Yeah, I was like, I just wrote something nice. He's joined by his ragtag team that consists of a walking factopedia, a southern fashionista, and an insecure she-giant.
Oh, interesting. She-giant, that's great.
I like it.
I'm curious how many of those characteristics of like each of us will show up in everybody's writing, like ours and people calling. So 877-91-WALLY is the number. We'll go through Betty, Zach's, and mine as well, but I'd love to get your Wikipedia definition of the Wally Show. This is the Wally Show, and we're trying to come up with a description of the Wally Show for Wikipedia, because we do not have a Wikipedia about this show. So we're going to write some descriptions here and then eventually figure out how to do a Wikipedia page. It's so sad I don't know how to do that. I would have thought one of you would have. I get me not knowing it, but I'm not the only one that doesn't know.
Well, somebody's got to care to do it. That's the problem.
I know. So here's what we're doing. We're going through our descriptions, and you can listen to these and see if they match with what you think about the show. And if you want to call and give us a description of the show for our Wikipedia page, who knows, it might make it in there. So yours might be the one that we choose. Like one time somebody talked about the show, and I this has always stuck with me, and I loved it. They're like, it's not church, but it's like hanging out with your friends after church. And I went, oh my goodness, like that in a nutshell is a great description of what I would want this show to be, but I could never verbalize that. So whatever you got, 877-91-WALLY is the number. We'll take yours, your definition for Wikipedia as we work through ours next with Betty Rock. No, let's go Zach next.
All right, mine is more clinical.
Okay.
Like Wikipedia, it needs to be fact-based and short and to the point.
Got it.
That's mine.
And you just wrote it.
No, it's just following the form. So launched in October of 2011, The Wally Show is a nationally syndicated and occasionally humorous radio program and podcast. Listen free at allwally.com.
There you go.
Featuring a predominantly female cast, the show discusses current events and life topics.
Wait, no, it's 50-50. I see where you're going.
It's predominantly female.
The show discusses current events and life topics from a biblically based woman's perspective.
That's so funny.
I like it.
That's really good. I like
that's
that.
the winner.
Yeah, because I'd never thought of you as a woman before, but now I get it. I get it.
I don't want to fact check you, but
Betty Rock, what do you got?
Okay, mine's short and sweet. The Wally Show, a show for Christians who are real about their faults, knowing full well they're a hot mess and accept it anyway.
Oh, look at that. That's
you
nice.
are a hot mess.
You are.
That wasn't how I saw it going.
All right, I got mine that we'll do next, and if you got one as well, remember, we'll take yours. 877-91-WALLY. How would you describe the Wally Show for our Wikipedia page? This is the Wally Show, and we are attempting to craft a Wikipedia page for the Wally Show. So we're starting with a definition of what the show is, and then we'll figure out how to create a Wikipedia page. I still think that's funny. We don't know how to do that.
We sound like Grandpa.
I know.
How do you make one of those newfangled things?
And that's where you could make fun of me if you right now could tell me how to make a web page, but like a Wikipedia page, but no one on the show knows. And Zach, I would expect he would know, but it's a mystery.
I don't. I've never looked into it.
Yeah, I have no idea. So, okay, some people have been using Twitter there.
Yeah, some people have given us definitions like Ted said, a radio team that puts the fun in dysfunctional that only God's grace can explain.
Oh, well, there you go. This is a dysfunctional group of people. I will give you that.
Someone else, Becky said the needle for the Christian bubble, which is something we've, I think, used before to describe the show, and I like that one a lot. And then Lisa said inspirational, motivational, with exceptional use of humor, and then an exceptionally gifted host, of course.
Oh, well, goodness gracious.
I don't like that one.
Right now, I'm glad it's called The Wally Show, because that went my way.
Do you have a Twitter account named Lisa?
Yes. No, but my mom does. All right, so those are good. Okay, now here's what mine is, because we've had Becca's, Zach's, and Betty Rock. So mine is, The Wally Show is a fantastical fabric woven of threads of both faith and fun.
Of course it's
so
fabric.
Fabric, yeah. Wally is the host, and there are some other people there, too. You didn't let me finish. There's another paragraph. Let me see. Wally is the button pusher, and not just on the board. He pushes everyone's buttons just to get a reaction. He acts like he's 7, even though he's 47. Zach is the show fact checker, instigator, and manipulator. He comes up with things that he himself won't do, but he factors in Wally's lack of filter and boundaries to make Wally do his bidding. Muhaha. I'm not sure how to spell that, but it's in there. Betty is the cute Southern belle who you cannot paint with one brush. And while she went to a high school that had a mud flap as a mascot, she has not let that stop her from becoming a brainiac and getting on the dean's list at Colorado Christian University.
That's right, y'all. You can live your dreams.
That's right. Dare to dream. Becca is the sultan of subtle sarcasm who suffers from self-esteem issues even though she has absolutely no reason to. She is the show workhorse who is driven and hopes to replace Zach as quickly as she can before setting her sights on one day doing Wally in and making this the Becca Show. So
all I heard was I have issues.
Yes, exactly. And you do.
These are the least important stories out of Hollywood, but nonetheless entertaining. It's the least of these.
And Betty Rock breaks it down for you every day. What you got there, Rock?
Well, Adele is making an impact on everyone's lives, and during her show in London last night, a couple decided to get engaged during her concert, but she wasn't too sure about what was going on.
Did you just get engaged? Did you? Well, they were fight at first.
Did you just get engaged? I love that accent. It's amazing. And
she thought there was a fire that was going on at first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what she, yeah.
Oh, so the guy gets down on one knee. She thinks he stopped dropping and rolling?
Yeah, I don't know how, like, you don't see the video or whatever. I don't know what he was doing, but...
I thought that maybe they had tried to get Adele to work in the whole wedding thing, but her stopping her concert to actually do that, every girl wants a big proposal, like something that people recognize or will talk about, and so that's a good one there.
They want something epic, and that is epic to get Adele to stop her show for you.
Epically epic, I would say, if I was that epic.
Yes.
Here's something that is so epically epic that you can't hardly epically stand it.
What is it?
Harrison Ford and Steven Spielberg have signed on to do a 5th Indiana Jones movie.
Yay!
Here's what's hard to believe.
Epic sauce.
It's set to be released in July of 2019. Guess how old Harrison Ford is going to be?
He's got 2019? Oh my goodness, that's still 3 more years away.
Yeah.
He's going to be 72?
No, older, 77.
No.
So how can you be Indiana Jones and be 77 years old? How does that work?
Because they're still going to be doing Taken movies with Liam Neeson into his 80s, and that's not going to be good. Because A, it's the same plot, and B, is an 80-year-old guy fighting people. Like I love Indiana Jones. The first one was one of my favorite movies of all time, but I just don't see a 77-year-old playing that like a real dramatic, but like big piece of that movie.
Here's the thing, though. He's probably better shape than you are.
Oh, totally.
Seriously?
And he's got 30 years on you.
Is that up for contention?
Yes. He's still older than me. I think I don't think he's in better shape than me.
Show of hands.
If we knew him, we would bring him over here and do a push-up contest right now.
And you would fail. First Lady of the White House, Michelle Obama, she teamed up with the songwriter Diane Warren to write a female empowerment song called This Is For My Girls.
Delightful.
This is for my girls all around the world. Stand up, hold your head.
Wally is doing some dancing that I've never seen before.
He's feeling empowered.
He's feeling the women empowerment.
Oh my goodness, because you know why? This is for my girls, yeah. Female empowerment
Now the thing
songs.
is,
Those
Michelle,
are fun.
that is not Michelle singing. That is not her. That had Kelly Clarkson and Missy Elliott in it.
Really?
Yeah, but,
that was horrible.
Supposedly, she is not the only Obama that is getting into the music career, because the cast of Hamilton, this is a popular Broadway musical that Wally knows all
I know it
about.
all too well. My daughter wants to see it. Lynn, the guy who wrote it, is phenomenal.
Well, he was at the White House this past Monday and did a little rap thing where Obama has to like hold these signs. They're random
random words, like government words.
And he has to work them into a rap.
Because he was freestyling this, and the whole thing of Hamilton is it's a musical, but it's all rap-based. It's absolutely phenomenal. So this is him freestyling the words that Obama is holding up.
Constitution, the POTUS, I'm freestyling, you know this. Obamacare, okay, I'm looking up because it was hopeless before you enacted that system. The Federalist Papers, Hamilton wrote the other 51 and greater. I hope in Congress works to our agenda. Innovation's important, you really gotta send to yourself and create something. We need a new justice for the Supreme Court. In short, oh my gosh, this is my book report. And immigrants, we get the
Like, that's not easy to do. Like, someone's just throwing words at you in the thing.
It's the president.
I know. I mean, and he nailed that. So it's good to see that Michelle and Barack have something to do after this. Is they're going to be like record label moguls. So that's good after they step out of the White House. Well, thank you, Miss Rock. That is your least of these for today.
She spends so much time on the internet, we thought we should put her to work. It's the Blogtastic Blog Report with Reby.
That's right. Every week, Reby breaks down some of the information on your favorite artists, and today is no exception. What you got, girl?
Okay, I have like the best prank for your family. Mercy Me, Mike from Mercy Me, his son put butter in his deodorant and replaced it with that, and he just went and didn't
buttered
even
up his
notice
arms
until it was too late.
His underarms are like a turkey.
He
at that
posted
point.
and used the hashtag greasy pits, and I was like, oh, that's disgusting.
See, but that's good though. When you like, if somebody gets one over on me, but it's funny, like I don't get mad about it. So that's funny. Like you have to, if you're a dad, you have to be proud of your son at that point. Without
he seemed
a doubt.
like it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Okay, speaking of being proud of your kids, Carrie Jo recently posted a picture of her baby, Canyon, and he was fixated on this live stream of his dad leading worship, and she wrote, he always recognized his dad's voice in my belly, and it was special to watch him respond in person for the first time. Like he knows when one of his parents is leading worship, and he's only a few weeks old, and I thought that was just really cute.
That's kind of cool. I mean, they say talk to your baby like when you're when they're still in the womb, so that they recognize your voice when you get out.
And his name is Canyon.
I know, that is pretty cool.
Do you think it's cool?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Becca
do.
just
It's
got
weird,
really excited.
But it's a cool name.
Yeah. That's a rock star name.
Will his nickname be Yanni?
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 Oh, I got you.
Yoni? I think that'd be cool.
We should tweet her and suggest it.
Yeah.
Speaking of great musicians.
Yes, Yanni, yes, absolutely. Said no one ever.
Okay, well, we have good news for Jordan Feliz fans. It seems like it just was very recently that his song The River came out and everybody loved it, but he just announced a brand new single called Never Too Far Gone.
This scares me, and here's why.
Why?
Here's why. I love Jordan Feliz. I'm a big fan. He and I, we respect each other's fashion. We're friends. Like, and The River is quite possibly one of my favorite all-time songs. Like, it's top 10 for me. Great song. I'm nervous this won't be as good.
All right, well, we have a clip. We can check it out.
I almost don't want to play it because then if it's not good, then I'm going to be upset. And
Do you want to know what I think?
Yes.
I think it's really catchy.
Do you really?
I think you're going to like it, but I could be wrong.
Okay, so here we go.
Doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter what you've done. You are never too far gone.
Woo! If you can put a woo on it, you know it's good. That's a hit.
Okay.
That's a hit.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you can sing it like that, that's a hit.
I've only heard this a couple times, and I'm already like finding myself humming it like along and like to myself as I go along.
It's infectious, and it kind of makes you go what and do a little dance, even if you're not good at it, like this.
Maybe we should write him and ask him not to release the single because I now want to see those dance moves.
You'll see it every day, girl. It's some good stuff. It has a little Gloria Estefan to it.
I was kind of wishing he would have just singled the One Direction cover he did.
Oh!
Because that was so catchy. That was in my head for days.
That was good. This is that one.
All my life
Yeah.
stood by me when no one else was ever behind me.
Woo! So you can put it in there too. Again, any song you can add a woo to, like randomly, you know it's good.
Drag me down. Nobody.
Woo!
Nobody can drag me down. Nobody. Nobody can drag me down.
I think I just dragged that song down.
Yep.
Yes, all right. Well, there you go. That is your blog report. Thank you, Ms. Reby. Nice job. This is the Wally Show, and one of the things that's easy to do in life is judge people. And you try not to, you know it's not right, but it just kind of seems to happen, you know? It's like you could get an email at work, and you're reading it, and you're going through it, and you're like, you read it in a different voice.
You read it in this voice.
Yeah, exactly. I do that all the time when I get emails, and then I'll read it to somebody else and like be looking for that person to be on my side. They're like, "What?" But I'm like, "No, they said it like this," and like I don't hear it like that at all. Like, yeah, they are. They're being like a jerk or judgmental themselves. And then you're like, okay, now I guess I'm all alone here in my judgment tower. And so I think we all get caught in that from time to time.
For sure. There was one recently where there was this coworker's wife, and I didn't know her that well, but she was so pretty. And I don't know what it is about women, but sometimes when we see another like just really gorgeous woman, we're like, I hate her.
Yes.
She's the worst. I don't know if it's pop culture and movies, like it's always the mean girl is the really, really pretty one, but I was like, oh, she's the worst person ever. She's probably so mean. She's so snotty.
Yeah.
And then I got to know her, and she is one of the kindest, nicest, most sincere people that I've ever met.
But then when you're getting to know her and she's that nice and that pretty, you're like, this isn't right. There's something not right about this still. And it takes you longer to like get to that point where you're like, okay, this is just a really amazing woman.
It did, and she has never proven me wrong.
Right.
She's always been that amazing. But for the longest time, I was like, I can't like her.
I know.
Can't be her friend. She's too
get
pretty.
it. But you came around, and when you got to know her, you realized that, oh, wow, she's a genuine, like, really sweet person.
Right.
And stuff. So she has the whole package. Like, everything's, going well for her. But that's what I want to get to is, like in your life, what are the times that you judge somebody only to find out that you were wrong? Like, you were wrong about this person, and they turned out to be something completely different than you thought they were. And it was a good thing. And it turned out to be a good misjudgment, and you learn from that. I mean, I think we all have those things. Typically in my life, people that I like right off the bat, like really just, oh, this person's great, I end up probably not liking them as much over time. And the people that I have this weird aversion to in the beginning usually end up being like really close to me, and I don't know why that is. I'm thinking maybe the people that I like right off the bat are similar to me, and so I'm like, oh, this is a great person, I love this person. And then I'm like, I can't stand being around this person anymore. And it's because they're just like me.
Man, they're always trying to steal the spotlight.
Yes, I know. It's like, ew, get rid of them. So what is yours? What is the time you judged a person only to be proven wrong in the end? 877-91-WALLY is the number. We'd love to have your take on this right now. 877-91-WALLY. This is the Wally Show, and we're talking about those times in life where you judge somebody, but you actually end up misjudging them. You go off a little bit of information, and you come to find out that maybe you were in the wrong. Has that ever happened to you, Corey?
I hate to say I am guilty of that. Years ago at a church, I let somebody's view of a person keep me from getting to know her, and it took me too long, and I let what one person said about her stop me from getting to know her for a long time. And once I did get past that, though, she was one of my best friends after that. So
yeah, that's one of the things I actually try to guard myself against is when other people say something about somebody, because everybody has different relationships and encounters with people, and like somebody might have met her on a bad day and it tainted their view, and then they start telling everybody what she is, but it was like one bad day, and then you meet her and you have a completely different experience with her and you become best friends. And so that's definitely something to be mindful of as you meet people.
Right, and I think as I've gotten older, I've definitely gotten better at that, but we're all guilty of it every now and then, I think.
Oh, 100%. Are you kidding me?
There is something about that pack mentality where it's like, okay, we hate them, right? Okay,
Yes.
yeah, we're going to dislike them. Got it.
Oh, for sure. We do that sometimes even on the show.
Right.
Like right now. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
This is the Wally Show, and we know it's wrong to judge, but in life there are times that we still do that. But sometimes you're proven wrong. And those are actually good moments when you can come full circle on somebody. So have you ever judged somebody and then found out, oh, I misjudged them?
My husband.
Oh, okay. Before or after you got married?
Before.
Okay, so what was the situation?
I was dating a friend of his, and I first met him through this friend, got to know him, went on an out-of-town trip with one of the girls from the group, and she asked me one day, so what do you think about David? And my response was, he's a nice guy, but I could never go out with him. I've been married to him now for 23 years.
Well, what was it that turned where you went from I could never go out to him where I'm going to spend my life with this man? He's my soulmate. What was that turn? That's a big change.
The other guy and I mutually agreed to, stop, quote-unquote, dating. And I got to know him over time while I was dating the other guy. So it was a pure friendship. And the more I got to know him, the more I realized he was the sweetest, kindest, most considerate man I'd ever met. So he asked me out. We dated for 4 months. After 4 months, he had bought the ring.
Wow. So you went from judging him, not being into him, to all in.
Which just goes to show you pop a ring out and someone's going to fall in love with you. So nicely done on his part.
No, actually, I actually made the poor man wait till we were dating for 6 months.
Oh, there you go. I admire your restraint. This is the Wally Show, and we know it's wrong to judge, but we all do it at some point in time. So, Janie, has there ever been a time where you actually judged somebody, but you realized that you had misjudged them?
My best friend, when I first met her, we met at Sunday school. Her name's Brooke, and she was this awesome, popular girl, and everybody loves her. And I just was like, there's no way she's ever going to talk to me. And so I'm talking and making jokes, and she's not even paying attention. And I was like, I want to be her friend. I want her to like me. And she just was not paying attention at all. And then I went back to church, and she came up to me and she was like, can I sit by you? And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I want to sit by you. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're not stuck up? And she was like, no.
Yeah. Who said I was stuck up? No one.
And so she's my best friend now. And that was our sophomore, junior year of high school. And so we've been friends for years.
My best friend in high school was like that too. He came to the school is a transfer, and everyone liked this guy right out of the gate. He was a good-looking guy, and he was nice. He was outgoing, and it just infuriated me. I had been working to get into circles throughout high school, was always kind of on the fringe, and this guy waltzes in. All the girls wanted to date him. None of the girls wanted anything to do with me. I'm like, I hate this guy. And then we end up being best friends throughout all of high school, and even went to college together. It was absolutely ridiculous. Still hate him to this day. But man, I was thankful for his friendship. This is the Wally Show, and we know that it's wrong to judge, but there are times in our lives where we actually, fall victim to that, and we judge somebody, but we can actually misjudge them. So has that ever happened to you, Cherie?
Not necessarily me, but my husband gets judged because he has tattoos all over him from when he was younger. He's got, a shaved head. He's got the beard. He's really tall, and he's muscular. And I mean, he looks like he's a bad guy on the outside.
Which could be helpful when you're walking home to your car late at night. You want that. But when you walk into church and he's getting judged, it's probably not as much fun.
My father-in-law looks like that. He looks really tough. He kind of looks like he belongs in a biker gang, but he actually teaches elementary school.
Oh, and really?
The year he taught kindergarten, all of the kids were crying on the first day when this guy gets up in front of the classroom. But he's the nicest guy.
I think those are the ones that make great kindergarten teachers, where there's that fear at the beginning, but then you see that they're really kind, gentle people.
And it's a great lesson for kids about not judging that book by its cover at an early age, where you're right, you see this person that you think of them one way, but then you learn that they're completely different. That's a great life lesson. Well, that is going to do it for the Wally Show podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, you have somebody to thank for that today, or not the podcast, but the actual show that was done as part of the podcast, is you have Becca to thank for that today. Yay, Becca! There you go. Clap it out for her. Slow clap it out for her. She planned the entire show today. We are growing her and teaching her, and we said, hey, do the show. And she came up with the ideas and did a great job at organizing everything. It was a touch and go moment during part of the show when you hear me ask for phone calls about ideas for descriptions of the show for our Wikipedia, and you notice there's no calls ever played. Yeah, no one called for that. But they went to the app, and she was freaking out about that.
I was, because you have all these ideas, and you're like, it didn't work.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be, they don't trust me. I'm going to be fired.
Oh, yeah. Especially with your self-esteem, coming out of the gate and having one thing, seem to not hit is, devastating.
They hate me.
I know. I totally get it.
They want me off the show.
But it was still funny, and you know what? You never know. The things that you think are slam dunks aren't always, and then the things that you think are, innocuous and kind of, I don't know if this is going to work, usually end up being, a great thing. But you rebounded with our conversation in the last hour, so you did a great job.
Takes a bow. I don't know. I was really nervous yesterday because Wally left for the dentist, and he's like, all right, there are the boxes. Fill them.
Fill them up.
We got this one thing, but, that's it. And
Yeah.
so I think you were expecting me to do maybe a couple.
Yeah.
And I hope you were pleasantly surprised.
No, I figured you would have it. I wasn't sure what you would have, but I think you did a really good job.
Thank you.
So, and you even resurrected a bit with Betty Rock, you twit, who we gave her the opportunity to do that bit instead of me. And when I say opportunity to do that bit instead of me, it means I gave her the work and I still get the credit.
Yeah, wait a second. What are you doing today?
I know. What
did you do today?
What is happening here is I am becoming a leader. I'm growing into my leadership role, and I am giving you more responsibility and me less responsibility. And I hope to be doing more of this in the future. So
Well, and it's good you delegated authority, though, too, because you gave her the authority to make the call and things. You can't delegate responsibility, but not authority.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we talked through some stuff and we kind of tweaked to see if things were going to work, and I signed off too on the bit where the phone calls didn't come in. So I would like.
It's your fault.
No, yes,
It's Wally's fault.
I
That's what he
believe-
said.
I
That's what he
believed
said.
in it, and I would stand behind that still to this day.
And a real leader like that would take responsibility for it failing.
100%.
That's a good
100%.
thing.
That's on me. If I had seen it as a problem and then step back out of it if it didn't work, then yeah, that would be a problem. But I'm like, yeah, I think that should have worked.
Him giving you more opportunities is kind of something you can use in a positive way, because you can really use this as a mind game. All you got to do is walk into the office and be like, man, I got called into this meeting, and then he doesn't know anything about it, and it's really going to bother him. He'll be like, what's the meeting about? Really? Why wasn't I invited? Let me email somebody. Wait, why didn't they invite me?
You, Betty
use
Rock,
this for your you can do this.
been around me way too long, Betty. Because
That's your kryptonite.
It really is. Like, information.
You're
for
very
me-
insecure.
Information for me is very important. And so and it's been hard with Zach, because Zach has elevated his position out of just of the show, but he has the whole digital responsibilities. So there are conversations and meetings that Zach's a part of that have to do with all of that. But then there's parts where they kind of intersect with the show, and I find out later about things. I'm like, I would have liked to have been in on that.
I already know the day you're getting fired.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Please
But
be
I can't
tomorrow.
tell you. I can't tell you.
I make it on a day when I have Becca at least prep the next day's show, so I at least don't work. That's what they always do in radio. They fire you Friday after your show. It's like, be human and let me go before my show. Like, I've already worked on it the day before. Like, let me go ahead of time. But they always wait till your final afternoon on
I
Friday.
wouldn't let you
can
talk on the air after firing you. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I know. No, they just fire you Thursday, you know? Yeah, I guess that's the same as firing you on Friday. It just feels different.
It's getting worse.
We had a show that I was on in Atlanta where we were disbanding the show, and we had one more live event we had to do, contractually had to do this event. They were so scared of what we were going to say. We started at 5 a.m. They had an engineer sleep at night in the studio to make sure that we hadn't messed with anything. And then they had him... a lot of times radio works on a delay. So if you say something or if somebody says something, you can hit a button and it basically wipes out 10 seconds. They put us on a 45-second delay so that they could push the button and take out anything that we said in this last day. They were so paranoid, and that was the win. Like, we didn't do anything bad at all that day, and we just had a great fun last day. But the win is just making them paranoid.
Which will be the win for you, Becca. Make you paranoid.
And I will fully tell you that would work.
I mean, you do know about the meeting after the show, right? Like,
What
you
meeting?
were copied on that email?
No, what meeting?
I saw the email. It was really sweet. Rob was saying how much he enjoyed the show today. He said there was something really different about it, and he
He wants
loves
to
the
see it
new segment
continue.
called You Twit.
Yeah.
He wants to talk to us about
Yeah.
that. I
Nice.
think he really likes where we're both going.
Okay,
so.
well, while you guys
Were you invited to that?
I wasn't, and while you guys are in that meeting, Zach and I will do show
Show
lunch. My
lunch.
treat.
Show lunch.
You're out, Rock.
I would take lunch over a promotion.